We will call this meeting of February the 2nd for the town of Surf City to order. And I appreciate everybody that's here, being here. I also appreciate everybody that's out there viewing us online. Appreciate them being here. And sorry about that, Councilman. I didn't realize you weren't there. But anyway, like I say, once again, I appreciate everybody being here that's here, and everybody that's been participating in everything as well. It's been a little bit of a different way, but I think we've had some good contacts and a lot of participation, even though we couldn't all get together at one time. So at this time, I'll ask you if you will please stand if you're able. And I'll ask Councilman Fowler if he will lead us in a word of prayer.
Thank you, Mayor. Let us bow our heads. Father, we come to you humbly today, thanking you for all the blessings you brought into our lives. Father, we ask you to continue to guide us and protect us. Be with all of us as we go our different ways, Father. We're thankful to be gathered here tonight to do the town's business, and we're thankful for all the guests we have that want to make comments, Father. We ask that you continue to guide us, lead us, and help us make the best decision for our town. We ask you to continue to protect our soldiers overseas and those at home as well, Father, and their families. We ask you to bring them home safely. Father, we ask all these things in your most precious name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. And I'll ask Councilman Helms if he'll lead us in our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. And you may be seated. And at this time, we have our chamber director here, our new chamber director, who's just getting started. And I'll ask Jeremy, who is the liaison, if you'd like to introduce her.
Sure, absolutely. So I've been working with the council last year, one to the chamber as a liaison, and for the last year they've been looking for a new director. Her name's Karen Burton. She's a former educator, and she's going to bring a great twist. I know Councilman Fowler fits right into those shoes over there with his education background. So she was just, the mayor was graciously gave her a few minutes here to just kind of explain a little bit about what her role is going to be here and how she's going to be helping the chamber in Surf City. So if you guys can give a hand to Miss Karen Burton, please.
Thank you very much for having me here today. I look forward to working with each and every one of you and to help you better build this community. I am happy to report that we have already gained 12 new members since I came on. We have formed an economic development subcommittee group, and we are working hard to develop some more statistics and data. I've already talked with Kyle a little bit about this. We have a meeting next week. Isn't that right, Kyle? And so we just hope that we can help serve all of you and build better relationships. And I'm here if you need me. I'm at the chamber office most of the time, or either out in the field meeting people. And I look forward to all of the relationships that we can form. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Look forward to working with you too.
Yes, sir.
Sure do. All righty. At this time, we have the Beautification and Appearance Committee Award. And for the Home of the Month, we have Anthony and Tina Lee. Is either one of them here? No?
No, Mayor, they live in 16th and they're really shy to be there for the pictures tomorrow.
Oh, okay. All right. And we have the Business of the Month is JM's on the Water Bar and Grill. Is anybody here from JM's?
He said he didn't think he would be able to make it.
Okay. All right. It is pretty good. I had some dinner from there yesterday, so they do a good job. So anyway, we will pass these on down to the clerk and let her get them to them. Okay. We ask all that's in attendance to please set your cell phones to silent, and I'll check mine and make sure it's there. So keep it on the vibrate mode. And council offers a public opportunity to speak during the meeting. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes each, must be directly issue oriented with agenda items for this meeting or issue upon which the council has control. Citizen speakers will be acknowledged in the order for which they signed up to speak and address all comments to the board as a whole, not one individual council meeting. Speakers will address the council from the speaker's podium at the front of the room and will begin their remarks by stating their name and address. Discussions between speakers and members of the audience will not be allowed. Public comment is not intended to require the council to answer any impromptu questions. Speakers are expected to be civil in their language and presentation. All comments where the primary purpose is to promote business or candidacy shall not be allowed. In accordance with the council's adopted rules of procedure, council members will reserve responses, if any, for the council forum on the agenda. And we're doing it a little bit different, so we will turn the first part of it, well, the whole thing will be turned over to Stephanie, but you're going to begin with the people here or begin with the ones that were sent in?
For the public comment period?
Yes.
We'll be getting to that momentarily in the agenda. It is, excuse me, 1 second, after consent. Have we got a motion to?
No, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Excuse me.
Sorry about
I have
that.
myself here. Yeah. Okay, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of an additional closed session as item number 11 before old business.
Okay, do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, raise your hand. Okay. Approval of consent agenda. Is there any changes or do I have a motion for approval?
I make a motion, we approve it.
Okay. Second. Motion and second. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay. All approved. Okey-doke. All right, now we're to the part that I was trying to put you on.
I'm sorry, give me just 1 moment. I got
We're to
kicked
public
off.
comment now.
I apologize. I got
my
kicked
name
off
is
of the
Charles
system.
McHugh, and my wife's name is Donna Kieran, and we...
Like I say, public comment is a little bit different than it had been. We will have some in-person comments. We have some that was sent in. A lot of them have already been sent in and have been sent to the council as they came in, and the council has been reading them. So all the comments have been read so far, except the ones that she is going to read today, and then the ones that are going to be presented in person here.
So all the electronic emails that have been received regarding the public comment section for tonight, Tuesday, February the 2nd, have been forwarded to each council member for their review. We do have some recorded electronic public messages that Jason will be playing for us momentarily. So to hold for just 1 second.
Yes, hi, my name is Charles here, and my wife's name is Kieran, Yes, hi, my name is Charles here, my wife's name is Kieran, we live at 2413 South Shore Drive, and we are calling in response to the proposed parking lots. Our comments are not geared toward the parking lots in the commercial area of downtown Surf City, but rather at the proposed parking lot at 2409 South Shore, the vacant lot. This will be about a 4-part phone call. Please listen carefully. The first issue is the zoning laws. And according to our interpretation of the zoning laws, this is zone R5, and that parking lots with or without shuttles are not permitted in a R5 zoned district. So how did it end up that the city was able to get around that or interpret that differently? Please explain that at the town hall meeting, as well as put it in town hall meeting minutes, please. Other concerns, environmental concerns. We would like to know if there's been an assessment that has been done on the area and if indeed what that assessment has said. We are very concerned about flooding. The lot in question at 2409 South Shore is actually a berm with what appears to be maritime oaks on the property and a lot of other brush and vegetation. And if this has to be leveled down to the street level, that will create a huge flooding problem, more so than we already have. Plus, it will allow tropical storm damage to occur to some of the homes next to the lot as well as on the cul-de-sac behind the lot. So please let us look at the environmental assessment that has been done concerning these issues. I will stop here and call again and leave a second part two. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Olivia Marshburn. My phone number is 910-200-8389. My street address is 408 Briarwood Trail, Hampstead, North Carolina. I would just like to suggest that paid parking would be problematic for people who live on the mainland. I've been here for generations and would appreciate the opportunity to continue to use the beach with my grandchildren. I feel like beach access should be available at an affordable price. If you need to arrange for paid parking, then there also needs to be an arrangement for the larger county and surrounding areas. We support this beach. We have supported this beach. I spend money there every year. I clean up trash. I am a good steward, and I feel like I should have access without having to carry quarters or my cell phone to pay for parking. I think public beach access is very important. I'm in a position to be able to pay. Some people are not. Please reconsider some way to allow for everyone to have access to the beach. And I don't understand why residents should have free passes since they already have parking. Residents already have driveways. It's those of us who don't have driveways who would need public access. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yes, I have a residence at 201 South Dyson Street. Our zip code is 28445, and we would like for you guys to consider including us for the parking fees. Consider us into the local resident passes with my utility account on file. Again, this is Diane Douglas. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rocco Colucci. I live in the township of Topsail. I do surf fishing on that beach over there all the time, and I just feel as though by the time I have to pay for my bait, pay for my fishing license, and then pay to park, it's just not going to be worth it to fish off of the Topsail beaches if I have to pay for parking. Also, my family, we can't afford a lot to go to the beaches and stuff. It's just our getaway. We live here. We pay pretty high taxes, and a lot of the houses down by the beach down there, I don't look at the tax rates, and I don't think that their tax rates are as high as ours over here. And we're paying the same insurance also for the hurricane. I just don't think it's fair for the residents down here. If there's another way to get revenue, there's a lot of new homes, developments being built in that area down there, and raise their taxes a little bit. I mean, our taxes are already high. I just don't think it's fair. And if you had the amenities as the other beaches have, we would probably prefer to go somewhere else to the beach then, because you don't have the amenities as other beach areas that charge for parking. I appreciate you guys listening to my comment. It'll probably change my trajectory on the way I go and do my summer thing, but my trajectory, sorry. But thank you for listening to me, and have a nice day. I love Topsail Beach, and it's just going to turn us away from going to the beach. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Randy Batts. My address is 167 Charles Creek Road, Sneeze Ferry, North Carolina. I'd like to make a comment, a couple suggestions, if I could, about the beach access. first of all, I think this probably should be tabled until this COVID threat is not so prominent, so more people can safely come and make comments to the board in person. And also, if you won't consider that, I'd also like to be considered voting against this. And my point of view is Surf City has always been a family beach, a beach that anybody could come and bring their kids or family, no matter how much money they have. And it will be a big hardship on a lot of folks that can't afford to come to the beach. This is not who Surf City has been or should be. Just my opinion. Thanks.
Yes, this is Joni Kennedy. I was wondering how this will affect people who have handicap parking stickers. Would they still be having to pay to park, or will there be still free parking for the residents that have handicap parking stickers? Thank you. Bye.
Yes, my name's Dwayne Horton, and I have a property on Driftwood Drive in Hampstead, which is just off the island. My question is, will we be able to buy annual parking passes versus daily passes for people that live in the area or choose to do so? Thank you.
Yeah, well, my name is Jonathan Sherry, and I live on 1966 Watts Landing Road. And my concerns are the paid parking at the beaches. And Wrightsville Beach, Carolina Beach, they have paid parking because they have a lot of population around there with Wilmington being so close. So they have access to Uber, public transportation, even a quick bike ride. Masses of people are there. But people have to drive to Surf City to come here. And as far as me and my family, if we have to go to a beach and pay for parking, it's going to stop us from even going because it just seems like a free ride for everybody, and that's going to hurt the businesses and eateries around the area. Please keep the paid for parking separate from Surf City. We should be proud that we are not Wrightsville Beach and unique in that regards, and keep the parking free, please.
Hello, my name is William, and I have a question about the proposed parking policy and would like to know how the council is going to address the parking situation when people cannot find a parking place at the beach, and that pushes all the parking onto side streets and even streets beyond the beach onto, say, the canals, where people will end up parking there. I'd like to know how you guys would like to implement some kind of policy on those streets as well to stop people from parking on those side streets. Thank you.
Yes, my name's Ken Roberts from my address is 949 Jackson Store Road, Beulaville, North Carolina. Yeah, I've been going to Topsail to Surf City since I was around 10 years old, back in 1975, 1976. Never been a resident. They've always enjoyed it, always respected it. I have no problem with paying for paid parking. At $25 to park there one day is insane. And furthermore, what will it do to the businesses? Because the businesses won't get that $25. The businesses just lose that $25. So when a man buys $25 worth of gas, then pays $25 worth of parking, therefore Shakataka, Onshore Surf Shop, 50 South Surf Shop, Tap House Brewery, all those buddies, all of them, they just don't get that money. You know, people don't have that type of money to go in and day out. And furthermore, the ocean belongs to everyone. It's paid for by federal money. And the taxes that come off sales taxes from the beach help pay for the parking. So why couldn't we just lower this price and so make it $10 a day? That's better than zero. But it doesn't make it where people that who don't have a wealth of money can't come. It's God's creation. It's not what we put there. God put it there for us to all enjoy. Anyway, thank you for your time.
Yes, my name is Charles Matthew Knowles. I live at 211 Elwood Lane, Wallace, North Carolina. My family's been visiting Surf City for 30-plus years, and it's a wonderful place. And part of enjoying this beach is that it is free parking. I love to fish. I love to take my boys out on the surf and fish October, November, and it's very nice to be able to go out and not have to worry about a $5 an hour charge. I wonder, is there some exemption for fishermen, something that can still be pro-fishing in the policy that you're trying to push with the paid parking? I know most of the fishing takes place in September and October and November. I would appreciate it if you would give my comment your utmost concern, and my number is 910-385-8667. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Rodney King. I purchased my home at here in Surf City area in 2011. I fell in love with Topsail Beach. Didn't know anything about it until I came down and visited one weekend. And 4 years later, we decided to move here. I love Topsail Beach. I think it'd be a big mistake to start charging for parking. A lot of people are drawn to this area because of the kindness and the hospitality that everybody shows from the residents and just the people along the beach strand there. And I think you really do harm charging for the parking. You don't have lifeguards. It would just be a big mistake, I simply believe, to bring this upon people that barely can afford to go to the beach as it is with their families. And you just really need to rethink this over, the town council and the town of Surf City, because it is it's like a little haven of earth on earth here for people that do come down from up north and just love Topsail Beach. I've never realized how many people were drawn to this area until I moved here. But I love the area and I love the town and the closeness of the community. So please rethink this over and do not go to the way of charging for parking. It's just, I just think it'd be a big mistake. Thank you for my time. Thank you. Bye.
Yes, my name is Randall Worthington. I'm all for paid parking. I worked with the town 10 years, and I had to clean up after the people who parked beside the roads. Everywhere they parked, there were baby diapers and beer cans. It was filthy on Monday morning. We had to go and clean up, and they did not pay a dime here in our town. Thank you.
This is Paulette Jackson. My address is 2713 South Shore Drive, Surf City. I am against paid parking, especially on the north and south shore, because I think that that's dangerous to people crossing. Number one, that area should be left for trucks like JMAC and service trucks, that utility trucks. The traffic will be ridiculous in the season. And I worry about the fact that also that if paid parking is allowed in some areas, then it will just reach out, people will just park anywhere. and they will start using anybody's crossover. And that creates a liability for the people that own the crossovers because of insurance, because if anything happens, they get hurt, then we have to take care of it. I just think this is not a good idea, and I'm definitely against paid parking on South Shore Drive. Thank you very much. Bye.
Yes, this is Willard Jackson. I own property at 2713 South Shore Drive in Surf City. And this is in regards to the parking alongside the road, South Shore Drive. I have many concerns, I should say, with that. First of which is walking on the sidewalk. Will be a major problem. We do that often. We know many people that do that often. Roads and sidewalk maintenance will become an issue. Safety is the biggest concern I have. People parking there with traffic coming by in the summertime, that road stays busy all the time. Trying to get out of the car, will be an issue, as well as kids walking between the cars. The visibility of people coming across the street will be greatly reduced. So it will be basically a traffic issue, and it will be accident prone. We also own a walkover over the dunes that's private for our subdivision, and we pay insurance for that walkover. You know that even though we'll post a sign that says it's private, people will use that walkover if they are allowed to park near it, and that will become an insurance issue for us and anyone else that has a similar situation. So I'm not sure that it's been thought through very well. I have a lot of concerns with it, and just want to make them known to the council. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Melanie Inskeep, and I am a resident of the north end of Hampstead. My family and I come to the beach several times a year, probably averaging one time a week throughout the year. And I'm very disheartened to hear that you would start charging for parking at a time when there are a great majority of residents in the area who do not have funds right now to even buy food and pay their rent. Even though I don't fall in that category, I have friends who do, and they are really hurting. I also have friends who fall into the senior category who are at the beach every day for their mental well-being, especially during these times when it's hard to get to other places. I think this is very poor timing for the council. I do understand the need for funds, but I think there are potentially better ways to come up with those funds that would be easier of a burden to bear for the public, including a $1 toll to get over the bridges. One way, not both directions. Thank you for hearing our voice.
Is that all of them?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, yes, I'm sorry. Sorry. First, we have Mr. David Jones of 126 Columbia Drive, Statesville, North Carolina.
Mr. Mayor, I have a handout that ties to the comments and I hand that out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mayor, may I take my mask off while I speak?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, and staff of Surf City. Thank you for allowing me to speak at your council meeting as a part of your public forum in your agenda. My name is David Jones, and I am a resident of 126 Columbine Drive, Statesville, North Carolina. I'm the broker owner of Carolina Landmark Realty and the trustee of the oceanfront lots to the sound lots along Charlotte Avenue. I have a sound understanding of what your city and council is trying to achieve as I serve on the city council of Statesville. I have a sound understanding of how economic pressures create strain on the limited municipal budget. The purpose of my comments this evening is to, one, speak against the proposed parking plan as it is presented, and two, provide some recommendations. First, the plan has been poorly communicated to the public and lacks public input. I totally understand this issue as it can be directly related to the strains of COVID. The plan, as published, does not equitably distribute the public traffic along the public beach access points from the south, south central, and to the north. It is all concentrated in the north central district. The plan lacks any identification for pedestrian foot traffic, bicycle traffic, or more importantly, the public safety vehicles. Specifically at the corner of South Shore and Charlotte Avenue, the plan has totally covered up our property on both sides of the road for 3 oceanfront lots and 4 lots facing the South Shore Drive, and along Charlotte Avenue, all 4 lots are covered with public parking. There is no other property owner in Surf City that is bearing the same linear burden as that I've identified. The owners of the property have a plan to develop the property, and this parking plan creates an inverse condemnation claim and creates a negative impact on the property value because no other property is treated the same. Second, take time to develop a strategic plan that addresses the public parking needs of Surf City. Gain public input from property owners, neighbors, north, south Topsail, and off the island, and businesses as well. There are numerous strategic partners that will help with this plan, as well as the county, state, and school of government. You have the time to plan it and implement it right the first time versus its current presentation. The plan should create value for all property owners and users of public beaches of Surf City, and should be holistic in nature and not cherry-picked properties. Treat all residential and commercial tracts the same. I support public paid parking plan utilizing all of the public beach accesses and parking along North and South Shore Drive, as well as the side adjoining street. Treat every property owner the same. If Surf City has a major capital improvement project or budgeting funding requirements that do not fall within the general fund budgeting parameters, then share that burden with all property owners and not cherry-pick approach. I know and understand the biggest challenges you have as a representative of your community is making decisions that directly impact taxpayers and the general public. My family has loved Surf City, and my grandfather was the first mayor of Surf City. And we look forward to the opportunity to develop this property along Charlotte Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Ms. Nikki Tucker of 1222 South Shore Drive.
Good afternoon, good evening, council members, mayor. I learned of the parking last August, September timeframe. I again thought I heard about it again January 18th when an email went out to businesses. On January 21st, on Monday, I wrote the mayor, the council members, and the town manager. First of all, I want to express my thanks and gratitude for the time, energy, thought, and dedication each and every one of you put into your jobs. I have always wanted to represent our town on the council, however, knew I did not have the discipline to say no when a travel opportunity came my way. Therefore, I will express myself as best I can to you who represent me. Again, thank you so much for your time and energy. When Doug first addressed this last August, September, I called him several times to offer my time and energy on whatever committee task force was to work on this. I feel it is a huge step for the town, and there are a lot of broad factors which will affect our town, the ETJ, and our county residents. Too many to consider quickly. And once this step is taken, there's no going back. Therefore, we must have all factors and eventualities factored into our decision. I've just now heard about it, and it's ready to go before the council for a vote. I honestly feel this is premature and too big an item to vote on without the citizens and businesses seeing the full proposal and having it presented to them for their input approval. A few people, I repeat, a few people worked hard on this, and I'm grateful, truly. We must make sure we get this right before it's implemented. I would highly encourage we table this proposal, quickly gather a task force of knowledgeable, dedicated citizens and businesses to have a chance to view, peruse, comment, and hopefully give positive remarks and eventually acceptance of said proposal. As it stands now, without much information or any possible solution to our parking problem, my vote is to table this until further exploration. Since then, I went back and listened to the January 5th council meeting. At that time, 3 councilmen said, I feel like we're putting the cart in front of the horse. But then they had the workshop on the 15th, which was not video. I cannot go back and see Mr. Varner or Otto, so I'm still not privy to information. It is very important that information needs to be crystal clear, detailed, and well distributed to all businesses and to all citizens. There is no understanding of this. For this, I feel like we need to table it. Dwight Torres presented that instead of going from chaotic parking to paid parking, that we take a year to go to planned parking, where it's free, where the people know where they can park. That sounds rational and reasonable to me. But this jump immediately to paid parking, and Charlotte Avenue, when I met with the mayor, I met with him for an hour on Wednesday, on the 27th of January. Charlotte was the one. I said, I've almost hit children there because they parked there illegally for years.
And what did we do?
And the mayor said, it's happened to me too. It's a safety hazard, parking in the right-of-way. And a lot of these parking places are in the right-of-way. I canvassed 104 businesses, were sent emails. I went back and canvassed the businesses. I was told that 90% of the businesses approved. I'm going to say this. There is a big difference between approval and acceptance. Approval means you're 100% behind, you like the way it's going. Acceptance means you've been told what's going to happen.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
So you might as well accept it.
I'm sorry.
My time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Much. Also, as June 11th of this year, I'll have been here 50 years. You!
Next on the list, we have Mr. Tate Tucker of 1222 South Shore Drive.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman.
Evening.
I guess you know why I'm here. It's about the parking, and everything everybody said is similar to what I'm going to say. I'm going to come from a different place as a resident. Again, My mom lives at 1222 South Shore Drive. I'm a property owner at 2308. I own a blank piece of land on Driftwood, so 2 properties in Surf City, and then I reside in Topsail Beach and run a business out of Topsail Beach. So I love this place. I'm opposed to paid parking for a lot of reasons, and it's been within this last week that I've tried to, all the ideas in my head I've tried to come together. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch up from what I've even got here. I've heard a lot of good reasons why there shouldn't be parking, but mine's coming from a process point of view as a resident. And it feels like we're not being heard, or that this is a foregone conclusion. So I'm going to go through a timeline, and I just want to share it with you to see if maybe you can agree with me that it seems rushed. This process is moving way too fast, and we're obligated to do our due diligence as residents, as well as council members and town employees, and have a conduit of information that runs to and from, and to be open on both sides. And we need to know where businesses stand. We need to know where residents stand, and not just hearsay, not the Topsail Telegraph. I'm talking about maybe a survey where people are putting on paper where they stand and how they feel about it in comments. Again, I want to thank everybody for all the hard work here. I know it's not easy to be a council member. You put in your time, and I feel like that you are for Surf City, and I'm not against any of you. I just think this idea is premature and being rushed. First, I'd just like to espouse my disappointment at how fast this is going forward, because I don't know if everybody truly accepts how big this would be for our town if it moves forward. I believe bigger than the bridge, because once you have paid parking, this isn't a temporary fix. It isn't temporary for revenue. This is going to be in perpetuity. This is going to be for our entire lives. And with that, it redefines the nature of our town. Paid parking redefines the nature of our town. And as a Surf City resident for 40 years, if somebody badmouths parking in Surf City, I take that personal. I'm a Surf City resident and I'm from here. So I want us to get this right the first time. So what I want to do is I just want to give you a timeline of how a resident may or may not have been exposed to information. So I heard a whisper around August and September of 2020 about paid parking. No big deal, no cause for alarm. We've been talking about paid parking for 20 years. No big deal at all. That's the Topsail Telegraph too. Who knows what it is? I've just got a few more minutes. So that was August, September 2020. Monday, January 18th, now I didn't even know about it at the time, but now I know. On the 18th of January, there was an email sent to only businesses, not residents, businesses. And it, quote, after continued research and assessment by the town staff and council, so again, nobody on a coalition from businesses or residents on the topic will be presented at the next town council meeting on February 2nd. 2 weeks. So I heard this. I managed to get a meeting with the mayor and his assistant. We had really good information. The next day, 26th, a Tuesday, I went on a canvass the area. Now Monday, there was a site map sent out to the residents. That is 1 week and 1 day from today. That's when we got to see the proposal for the map. 1 week and 1 day. So in my mind, I know I'm out of time. I got a lot more to say. Like I said, I was all over the place trying to figure out what 3 minutes to say. It's too early to make a decision on this. You heard it from the people on the phone. You've heard it from the gentleman about Charlotte Avenue. This is a big step. And I know that it's important to get revenue together, but there's other things to consider. And Surf City, in my mind, has never been about a money town. It's been about the feeling, and we can make the money work in other ways. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have Mr. Daniel Blake at 621B North New River Drive.
All right, hi everybody. First, I want to say thank you guys for all that you do. I'm not a one policy or one issue voter, so I think we got the right people in place for the future of this town. I think we got the right minds in place. I truly believe you guys are doing your best for what's given to you. I want to state my stance on parking. I'm against it. We have 8,700 people in Pender County who live in poverty. It's 15%. We're just slightly above the poverty level for a national standard, which is 418 that live in Surf City, but that would qualify for parking. That means we have about 8,200, was it, several thousand, 7,200 or something like that, that is not able to have a permit that would fall into the poverty rate. So I'm against it. If you know me, I'm for my community. I don't give a lot because I have a lot. It's because I understand what it's like not to. And just a few short years ago, it would have been my kids looking from the outside in. And if you know my kids, they'll do anything for anybody. And this is for them. This is for the families out there who don't have a lot. Okay, we are a community, and this isn't what community does. They don't vote against their neighbors. But in saying that, if you guys do, and it sounds like you guys are going to move through with this parking, I wish you guys would shelf it at least for a little bit of time. How about some different avenues to the same approach? If you're going to do paid parking, why not make it a progressive system? Why not, the closer you're into town, you're going to charge a little bit more than you're asking now. And then the further you get out of town, you start making it available for free or discounted to where people can actually come in and pay. You know, where they can actually afford it and we're not turning away our neighbors. Or if you're making it free, that we're not turning away our neighbors. That's one way to do it. Another way you can actually supplement some of the income with this paid parking idea is you have a membership where people can sit there and pay $10 a week, which is so much easier than $25 a day. $10 a week for 30 weeks, which is past your point of 28 weeks in the summer. You're passing that, but you're going to get a little bit more money, and that little bit more money can go towards parking for those who can maybe apply for a hardship pass. Something that we're not looking past our members, not looking past our community. These are ideas that will help you guys fill the gap, and we don't know what the gap is. Right now, I think we have a short gap of $6 million, I believe it is. We have a 2.7 credit rating, or a debt ratio, or a 2.3. $6 million, that is a lot of money, but in a couple years, we're there. You know, this is a several $1 million idea you guys are getting ready to push forward, and it's going to sell the culture of our community if we don't do it right. Think about that for a second. It will change the culture of our community. It really will. This isn't just about you guys. All your kids are grown up. They're successful, I'm sure, and have money. There's a lot of people out here that come here every day that don't have nothing. They don't have a lot of money. So please, if you will, consider these people. Consider the idea of progressive parking. The further you're in the town, the little bit more you're going to pay. But it'll help ease those fees the further they get out of town, so these families can still come out here and enjoy this place. So these elderly who are on fixed incomes can still come out here and enjoy this place. Okay? And if you want to do the membership idea, Otto's a very smart guy. Okay? He can figure that out. There's gyms across this county and country that do memberships every single day. $10 a week, 32 weeks, 34 weeks, $340 a year versus the $250 you're asking now. That'll help ease some of these community parking for those who need it. So thank you guys very much, and I appreciate it. And like I said, we have the right people in place. I know you guys were doing the right thing, at least based on what you feel the information is. I wish you would shelf the idea for a little bit longer just to get some more ideas for the community. Listen to the audios and listen to Ms. Tucker and their family, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Ms. Sandy Miller of 110 Teachers Board.
Hi, thank you for your service. I really appreciate your willingness to serve on council and to the staff at Surf City and everybody who's done so much work on this. I've lived here, or had a house on Surf City for 25 years, and we've lived here full time for the last 6 years. And I'm not opposed to paid parking because I lived here for the last couple summers. And it was not enjoyable for the people who visited for the day or for us that lived here, because you cannot move on this island the closer you get to the weekend. I mean, definitely Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So something would have to be different. And because everyone around us is going to paid parking, then I think that would bring more people to our beach and make that traffic situation even more pronounced. I mean, I can't, if I want to go to the grocery store, I have to leave Saturday morning early or go late at night. There's no way to get there during the day or any other store for that matter. We had to go to a funeral, unfortunately, this past summer, and it took an hour and a half to get from my house over the bridge. So we were late for the funeral because we didn't anticipate it taking that long. So I do think something has to change. This strip of land can only take so many people on it. And if you think paid parking would change that, then I'm not opposed to it. But the communication of the whole paid parking plan and understanding why we need it, the money part of it, has not been communicated well. Because I don't even understand, if you were to vote today for paid parking, are you also voting for this map? And that is where the parking would be? I mean, is that set in stone, or is that going to be another public hearing? And for the lots that have just been identified and purchased, what does that look like? Is that paved parking? Is that rock parking? How many vehicles? Is there a buffer? Are there going to be restrooms? Like, none of that's been communicated to the people that live around those parking lots. And are they zoned for parking lots? Because when I bought my house, I looked at all the zoning around me. And I looked at the covenants for all the landowners around me, and and I all said residential. So I thought I was moving into a residential area, not a public parking area. I would be living close to the parking lot that the town has purchased at 2409 South Shore. And just like the gentleman before, we didn't hear the rest of his comments, but he talked about the environmental impact. That is a berm that falls off, and I don't really understand how you grade that in such a way that I don't end up with a bunch of water in my backyard from that. And the noise and all the other things. The last point I'd just like to understand is if we become an engineered beach, the rules are, 10 parking spots for each crossover every half mile, all those rules, those are the rules today. So what are the rules going to be 10 years from now or 5 years from now? We're going to have more parking spaces? Are they going to mandate we do more and more and more? I'd just like to understand those things before you vote on it. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your service.
Thank you.
That completes the public comment period for this evening.
Okay. All right, Mr. Kyle Brewer, the manager's report.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. First and foremost, good evening, Mayor and Council, and certainly public that are in attendance. Just want to go over a couple of things, ongoing projects, beach nourishment. This is sort of a recap of what we had sent following our January 20th meeting, but for the benefit of anybody in attendance or wants to listen to this. Update from the Corps is once they do get started on the project, it will be approximately an 18-month dredging time frame with a 24-month contract. Surf City's contract will overlap with North Topsail Beach for an estimated 1-year time frame, or total project time frame of 36 months for both towns. They're still not sure the method in which the sand will be delivered to the beach, but they did hold an industry day on January 11th, and they had good participation from all the large contractors that do beach nourishment projects. The environmental assessment, which is the year-round dredging permit to place sand on the beach, is anticipated to be issued for public comment by the end of February, and then there's a maximum of 135 days in which they collect that. The agency in which controls offshore, which is 3 miles or more, borrow areas, it's called BOEM. The Army Corps has to get a lease from them. They do feel confident that the amount of material, volume of material for Surf City would be be dredged from within that 3 miles, but they want to get these contracts in place for the overall project. Sand placement is estimated to be basically in the fall of this year. That's all dependent on environmental assessments from Fish and Wildlife, as mentioned earlier. Ultimately, we're looking at the PPA execution hopefully by the end of February or this month. Moving on to the new town hall project. As you all know and drive by there regularly, I'm sure, the outside is looking really good. Interior work is ongoing, including casework and cabinetry, flooring, and other finishes. This week, actually tomorrow, staff will be meeting with the contractor and the vendor for the generator to do an owner training operation so that if and when we have to fire that up, we will know how. We do have pricing back on the exterior signage and have selected the lowest bidder on that. We'll be able to work on final design prior to erection of that sign. Overall, the project remains on schedule and within budget. Staff will begin focus on interior finishes, taking inventory of what furniture we will take with us and will need to purchase. Our goal ultimately is to keep what we can, with the understanding some furniture will need replacement. The Old Town Hall, the asbestos inspections were completed the weekend prior. I'm still waiting on the report on that. So that includes 214 North New River, as well as the old Ward building. We have rebid those again to try and break those up for better pricing. Those are due February 8th, so we hope to have a contract award following that. On the PD property, staff has received late last week an offer, which we'll be working on the realtor to get additional details so that I can communicate that back to council. This is for the vacant land section only, not the building. The Town Ordinance Update Committee will meet again tomorrow. Staff is working on finishing chapters 10, 11, and 13. On to South Shore flooding. As I mentioned, the larger project has been initiated. However, next week, NCDOT and Public Utilities staff will be on site Wednesday and Thursday to begin the process of cleaning out the existing infiltration chambers. As we anticipated, they're full of sediment. Additional consideration will be evaluated in regards to longevity of keeping them cleaned out. I did want to mention that it truly is a joint effort between the town and DOT. We're thankful to have that partnership and be able to communicate with them on that project. So Price and his group have been working with them directly. It is appreciated. And then finally in my report, just talking about budget, as you'll get this often, is the next item up is departmental budgets being due at the end of February. We provided department heads an overview of the current fiscal year at our last department head meeting, and appreciate all the work from the finance department on gathering the data. So what we did was the information provided to you January 15th, we turned around and gave that directly to our staff so that they have a understanding of where we sit currently in the fiscal year. As noted before, we will continue to approach the upcoming budget year in a conservative manner, as there are still many uncertainties out there. So just from a general manager's report, Mr. Mayor, I present that to you and council.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
That concludes your report?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All right. Well, now we will go into a closed session, and when we go into closed session, then we'll have to ask you to step out during your closed session. We'll let you know when it's over so you can come back in.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143, Tab 318.11, Alpha 3, for attorney-client privilege.
Okay, do I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. So moved. We'll go into closed session. And,
No action was taken in closed.
no action was taken in closed session, so nothing to vote on there. Now, you want to do that?
Would be old business, paid parking.
Right.
And is there a consensus of the council to table this item from tonight, continue it until next month, and set a workshop?
Next month?
Well,
No, this
it'll be
month.
voted on in the next month, but there'll be a workshop from then.
Right. Continue the item off of this agenda, set a workshop for sometime this month to receive more public input.
Correct.
Right, and is there a date that we
The
want to set
12th.
that? Okay.
At
So-
9 a.m.
So we'll have Madam Clerk call for a special meeting on February 12th at 9 a.m. The agenda will be a paid parking workshop to receive citizen input or business input on the town's paid parking program. Is there a consensus to hold that on the 12th?
Yes.
Okay, do I have a consensus?
Any objections to that? Okay, we'll schedule a workshop, special meeting workshop for Friday, February 12th to commence at 9 a.m. Is there a motion to authorize the town manager to move forward with procuring the paid parking infrastructure, including but not limited to signs, bumpers, gravel, etc.?
I make that motion that
Do I
we.
have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, raise your hand.
All right,
Motion carried.
so just to recap what just happened for the council and the public, we are continuing over item 7 of old business, the paid parking ordinance and map, until next month. We are going to call a special meeting for February 12th, Friday, February 12th at 9 a.m. to conduct a paid parking workshop to receive additional citizen input. The town manager is authorized to move forward with procuring the paid parking infrastructure. And that leads us to council forum on the agenda now.
Okay, all right. We'll get to council forum. Mr. Torres?
Yeah, I've got really nothing further to add. It's been a long evening. I think most people know my sentiments towards the subject, so I don't want to relitigate that. I look forward to working with my colleagues at the upcoming workshop and getting to a final decision in our next month. So I thank everyone for coming out, for voicing their opinion. That's important. And good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd reiterate the same thing Dwight said. Thank you for all those that came out and made comments, and those that submitted comments as well through the Facebook and emails, as well as the town website. We appreciate your comments. We're moving forward and trying to figure out what's best and what is palatable, where we can try to get to a good situation. And I look forward to discussing this in a workshop and hearing some more interesting information and moving forward. And thank you again for your opinions. Thank you for attending, and good night.
Ms. Teresa?
Again, I'd like to say thank you to everyone that came out tonight. Probably hundreds of emails that we received before this meeting, a lot of those were positive emails for parking. From the majority of that came in were from local residents that were for paid parking. And they were saying thank you for finally acknowledging that we were respecting their property, and for taking in consideration that something needs to be done with our parking situation, whether it be paid parking in certain parking areas or other parking areas. They want us to protect their property. They're tired of people walking up underneath their houses, taking showers. They're tired of us parking in their driveways, blocking them in. So I think that is a lot to take in, not only from our residents, from our business owners as well. There's a lot of kinks to work out that will ultimately not make everyone happy, but hopefully we can make Surf City a safer place to park. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, Mr. Dunn.
Like everyone else has said, I appreciate the comments. We listen to the comments, even though a lot of times we act like we don't. We do listen to the comments. Just like the attorney said, we're going to have a workshop on it February the 12th. Again, I appreciate everybody coming. I appreciate everybody's comments, either in person or on the phone. And I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Okay, Mr. Sugar.
Thank you. Wow, this is one of those bigger items we get to discuss when you get elected as a city councilman.
Right.
And it was sort of like going back, we've had several meetings, we've had a couple hundred people come at the security gate at Dogwood Lakes, and you go through all this stuff.
It'd be nice if we could do that again.
Yes, for sure. You know, Ronald Reagan, my favorite guy, that's where I learned about politics, always says that forget the federal government, local government is as pure as it gets. And that's what we're doing here. All I'm going to do is just give you a very quick report on a couple things that I do, because that's what my responsibility is here. I'm the chamber liaison directed by the council. We have a new chamber director. You met her tonight. We have something called a beautification committee. They have submitted a name change. And I've also spoke to them about possibly incorporating under Parks and Rec Committee. And they're going to hope that that moves forward with Councilman Fowler and Chad. They can discuss that. I know that Teresa had discussed that. We had there's a tourism meeting, which is between our city, Pender County, and between the chamber. And they've just been talking about how to maximize our advertising and what we do together. And the last thing is, I spoke with the mayor back in August 2018. We adopted a resolution to form something called the Greater Topsail Community Alliance. This council did that. I called the mayor and said, they'd like to get together. Do you mind if we get back together? So we got back together and had a meeting. It's with Councilwoman Hall from Holly Ridge, Councilman Zizik from Topsail Beach, and Mayor McDermott from North Topsail. We had a great meeting, and we're going to get back together next week. They are excited about what we're doing here in that communication aspect. So that's all I have to say. Once again, thank you for being here tonight. Sorry to leave you out in the cold, but we didn't really leave you out in the cold.
Right.
Okay, so anyway.
Thank you, sir. Okay, yeah, I want to thank all the residents and neighbors for taking time to provide their input. I know I had over 750 emails, so we have had a lot of input on this parking. And we always value all the community's suggestions. Like I say, now a lot of those emails was, well, really, they were stretched from here to, I know one from Colorado and one from California, so they were stretched all over the country. And we do have people from all over the United States and other countries too that come here. And we invite each and every one of them, and we certainly want them to come. And, but anyway, like I say, I appreciate the suggestions that was given. Timing, yes. And that's the reason we have postponed this thing tonight, is because people didn't feel like they had enough time to get the information that they needed. And so that's why we're scheduling another workshop and going to try to get more information out on the thing. And I know a lot of them was talking, some of them were talking about the parking on South Topsail. Now, we do not have, the only right-of-way parking that we have on South Topsail is at the tower, right there at the town line.
South Shore.
South Shore, what'd I say, South Topsail? Well, that's right, Topsail Inn. So anyway, South Shore. So anyway, we have done away with just about all the side parking going down that way. And you'll see we're going to do crosswalks and things, so we're going to try to make it a lot safer than what it is now. But anyway, so that we can get more information out on that kind of stuff, we're going to postpone it. But we've been talking about parking, though, I know, for 15 years. and we have always turned it down. But in the last 2 years, the conversation got more serious. We saw the changes in our tourism and more people coming in. In the past year, we have researched taking the conversation deeper. Some of the community feels we are moving too fast. Some of the community feels that it's way overdue as far as the, the parking and taking control of it. Be assured that your input has been a large part of the conversation of this council, although you might not feel like it, and we have taken the comments from both sides that are opposed and the ones that are in favor of it. Like I say, I know I had 750 that we went through and sorted them out. Of course, a lot of them, are a big portion of them are from out of town, and but then there was a good portion that was from in town also. And I understand both viewpoints from it, and so we're going to take a little more time, look at some of those viewpoints, and look at some of the suggestions that we got from the citizens today, and put those in. So we're going to have another workshop, and we'll be inviting you to send in your comments again. And if you've got any questions, please contact some of us on the board, or Kyle, or Stephanie, and we'll try to give you more information on what we're planning on doing. I think part of the problem was everything was not understood, and maybe we didn't do a good enough job of explaining it. And so anyway, like I say, and because what you see now that maybe might not mean what it is from now on. Hopefully we'll be able to get some money and make some more parking lots that will keep more people off the side of the road. So that's what we're looking at doing, but we've got to do something to control it. Any of you that's here during the summertime, you know how bad it is. So we've got to look at that. So anyway, keep your ears open for our new workshop, and that's the 12th of February, right? Okay. Let's see.
Now we're going back in closed session.
Yep, we're gonna have to go back in closed session.
General Statute 143-318.11, parentheses A, parentheses 3.
Okay, now we forgot okay, go ahead, that's good. Do I have a motion?
I made that motion.
Okay, you made the motion. Who second? You second it. All in favor? Okay. All right. Once again.
Once again.
The local bill deadline, they're rapidly approaching. The House deadline to submit a bill to bill drafting is March 3rd, and it must be introduced by March 25th. For the Senate, it's April 25th to bill drafting and must be introduced by March 11th. And I bring that to the council's attention because we had talked about two pieces of local legislation. One would be to get an equivalent of 1% occupancy tax increase for the federal project, and then the other, with respect to paid parking revenues. On-street parking revenues under the statute are treated differently than parking lot revenues. Several towns, including Wrightsville Beach, City of Wilmington, I think Raleigh too, have obtained local legislation that allow you to use parking revenue regardless of whether it's on-street or parking lot for any public purpose. And I highly recommend we do that as we roll out or as we're looking at rolling out this paid parking. So we're going to, I'll work with Kyle, but we're going to need to get a sponsor. North Topsail Beach is working in unison with Surf City on the occupancy tax issue.
Right.
I've spoken to the Onslow County Senator, not for Pender though, but we need a sponsor for both of those bills. So I just want to bring it to your attention that we'll be working with staff to interface with our representatives to try to get a sponsor either at the House or Senate level for both of these items.
So Carson would do it in the House, and then Raven would do it in the Senate.
And it's Raven.
It's Raven.
Raven.
Raven and Carson.
Yes, sir.
I said Raven, yeah.
Yeah, and Carson. That would
I mean,
cover the House and the Senate.
The steeper hill climb will obviously is going to be the 1%, but several municipalities have obtained the local bill to allow you to use the parking. On-street parking can only be used to maintain the parking regulation, right. Parking lot revenues can be used for any public purpose.
Right.
A lot of towns have gotten local legislation to allow it all to go to a public purpose. So that's my report. Thank you.
Right.
Stephanie kicked me and said not to go fast, not to go long, so I'm done. That's all I have.
What else?
That's all I have. Thank you.
That's a mighty short attorney's report.
We've been here a little while tonight. I don't mind. I might throw a rock at me.
Okay.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Do I have a second on that? Second. All in favor, raise your hand and walk out the door.
Stephanie, quickly.